Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling with Platinum versus Bound for Glory. Um, Forgive me, I had a big night. Went to ICW Live, had to take care of somebody who got hurt on the show until like 5 something in the morning. Got a few hours of sleep courtesy of Jeff G. Bailey in the hotel room, which is amazing. And just did the AEW Dynamite report. So I'm going to go through this rather quickly, but I did watch the show and I enjoyed it a great deal. It was a nice step forward in a lot of ways for Impact. Clearly, they are going to sever their relationship with the AEW. At least that's my interpretation of a lot of the events of Bound for Glory. Let's jump into it. We had a tournament final intergender six-way match for the inaugural Impact Digital Media Championship. I hate the idea of this championship, but if they're going to go that way, they had a very Impact-ish kind of match. And they really utilized the intergender part really, really well, I thought, with a good balance of things and action and people being able to shine. Jordan Grace ends up winning, which I think is nice that they're getting away from the tag team thing with her and Rachel Ellering, though Rachel Ellering was there to support, in a match of 5 minutes of length. One thing that this pay-per-view did very well was the length of the matches. Nothing overstayed its welcome, and they gave the matches that needed room to breathe and time, room to breathe and time. Match number 2, The Inspiration, formerly the Iconics, Cassie Lee and Jessica McKay is what they're calling themselves, defeated Decay. As much as that breaks my heart because everybody knows I love the Rosemary, it was the right move. They defeated them by pinfall to win the Impact Knockouts Tag Team Championship in a time of just about 9 minutes, and the Inspiration haven't lost a step. They looked really good. They made sure they made Havoc look powerful and Rosemary look very crafty and smart, but in the end, the Inspiration win, which had opened things up a little in the Knockouts division. Trey Miguel, and as opposed to Crown Jewel, which didn't have a single title switch, this one, we've already had a new championship crowned and a tag team title switch, but we weren't done yet because our next match, tournament final 3-way match, I really love the finish. Trey Miguel managing to outsmart El Fantasma, who just keeps hitting him low, so he's wearing a cup, and then he manages to stop that via the cup and then pin him, as well as getting rid of Steve Macklin, who is the powerhouse. They told that story very well. They got 13 minutes 21 seconds in a very Impact kind of match, if you know what I mean, and it was for the Impact X Division Championship, so that makes sense. So now we've filled the championship vacancy, we've started a new championship, and we had the Knockouts Tag Team Championships switch hands. We go to a tag match, and it was a really nice story here where Violent by Design was beating on him, and finally, Rhino comes to Heath Slater's defense, and together they reunite their old team and get the win in just under 5 minutes. Again, no story overstayed its welcome, and it was very smart. Because they needed time for the 20-wrestler intergender Call Your Shot Gauntlet match, the winner receives a trophy and a contract they can invoke any time within a year for a championship match of their choosing. And in just under 30 minutes, Moose wins by last eliminating Matt Cardona after dumping some of our favorites to win this thing, Rich Swann or W. Morrissey, as they were trying to eliminate each other. So Moose, with a little bit of guile and a whole lot of smarts, manages to win this thing. They were smart to put it at this point in the show. And then we wrapped it up with we followed it with a tidy little tag match. The Good Brothers defeated Finjuice and the Bullet Club by pinfall. The standard kind of boring story, honestly, of, Doc Gallows threw out somebody who was just about to get the pin and stole the pin. I didn't expect a lot from this match, honestly, and I wasn't disappointed. It was my least favorite match on the card, but at least it only went 10 minutes. And we had finally somebody retain their titles. So, and if the Good Brothers are not going to be in AEW nearly as much, which I will suspect that they will not, it's the right move to keep the tag titles on them. Now we got Mickie James defeating Deonna Purrazzo, so another title switch for the Impact Knockouts Championship. One of my favorite matches on the card, really fantastic. And as usual, they really highlight the Women's Championship. So in the 2 intergender matches where you had multiple people involved, they had women win one and men win one. And this one, they put the women's championship match right before the men's championship matches and treat it with almost the same level of importance. And I think that's fantastic. And it was great to see Mickie James, who could still go, Deonna Purrazzo, perhaps with the best women's championship reign in Impact and TNA history, honestly. Really a lot to be proud of there for Deonna Purrazzo. And then finally, or not so finally, Josh Alexander defeated Christian Cage. I was afraid they were going to give this match 30 or 40 minutes. They gave it under 20, which was correct, and it was a fantastic match. And then Moose actually cashing in his former earlier in the show victory in that battle royal and beating Josh Alexander just by coming in and waylaying him as he was celebrating with his family in the ring, I thought was amazing, and I thought it was smart. And it actually did not make Josh Alexander look bad because he just had an unbelievable match with Christian Cage, who, by the way, lost by submission and tap out, which I thought was a really great way to go out. So good job all around for Bound for Glory.